Last time on Square Roots. Breaking news! Straight from Thetis. Matthew Van Zandt couldn't join us last time, so let's hear about his Inquisitor. Direct from the breach, here's Matt.
It's windy out here, and I have to No, I'm not going to do that. Hey, it's me, your best friend and your lover, Matthew Van Zandt, and I'm here to tell you about my sweet rogue, Bronnie Jandon. He's a big, beefy human boy with handlebar mustache and a white mohawk, and I gave him, pursed lips, so you can always see his teeth, which is really funny. He looks like this. You know, like this.
Is that because he's always ready for a kiss?
Yeah, he's always ready for a kiss. And and he's a human rogue, and he's really cool, and he's kind of evil, and always is like, they're like, "You're not really the prophet of Andraste," and he's like, "Yeah, I am." Also, I chose voice number 2 from the voices, and let me tell you something.
Ooh.
Y'all are missing out on voice number 2.
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zandt.
Heyo.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
John is absent. Yeah, it's a Canadian holiday.
Mm-hmm. You know what that means? USA. USA.
Yeah. This is the American episode.
American Patriots Only.
Day we take a holiday from Canadians.
That's right.
Exactly.
Feels good, man. Nobody's pronouncing things weird at me.
Except for Jim.
Obalobus. What did he say last week?
Minotaur.
Arabaris.
Minotee.
Color,
favorite.
but with a U. Like it sounds the same, but there's a U.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Favorite, but with a U.
We know the U's there. We sense it.
Yeah. We can hear it on your tongue.
It's going to be tough doing the quest log without forcing Johnny to do it for us because we're kind of lazy.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll keep the awkward pauses to a minimum. Listener won't even notice because I'm going to edit them all out. It's going to sound real smooth.
Yeah,
That'd
it is.
Be great. If you could edit out my ums as well. I get very self-conscious about those. But then I listen to professional podcasts and they say too. Stars. They're just like us.
I feel like everybody that edits their own podcast always really focuses in on themselves. I'm definitely always correcting my fuck ups and cutting you know what, Matt, that sounded stupid, and just cutting whole bits of myself that the rest of you just leave in. So you don't care.
We're always our own worst critics.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Not me though.
All right, well,
best.
I guess I should mention that this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And we are episode 2 in our Dragon Age Inquisition series. We're gonna pick one of the big game options in this chunker. Do we help the Templars or do we help the mages?
I know who I helped.
That'll be fun.
Because the game didn't seem to give me an option, so I just kind of went with what I had.
Yeah, that can't be true. But we'll get to it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
First, we got to talk about hot gaming news.
Ooh, I know Jim's got some hot gaming news he wants to talk about.
There's a big one. My best friend Alan Wake is now a part of the Dead by Daylight universe. What were you thinking of?
Last of Us 2 casting news.
Oh,
Last of Us Season 2 casting news.
Yeah, they announced the casting of very important Last of Us 2 character named Abby. She is going to be played by... Caitlin Dever, who you might know from the much lauded Netflix series Unbelievable, which is about the investigation of a serial rapist, which is based on a true story, which is very good. I suggest you go watch it. She's also been in some other stuff. She was in that movie that came out over Halloween that's on Hulu that's mostly without dialogue and it's about aliens invading. She was in that one.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Pretty good. But yeah, it's exciting. She's a good actor. Hopefully she gets super beefy like Abby is in the game.
Yeah.
You guys haven't played the game, have you?
No.
I mean, I said when that I didn't love the first one. I've always had very little interest in Last of Us 2, and I liked the first season of the show so much that why would I want to play the game and spoil the season 2 for myself? Like, why don't I just stick with the version I like? Know what I mean?
That's fair, I guess. I don't agree with your stance, but I respect your right to have a wrong opinion.
What's my stance that you disagree with? That I should watch things I like?
That you're somehow ruining your Last of Us 2 experience by playing the game.
But I don't want to play the game.
I think playing the game would enhance your Last of Us 2 experience.
Yeah, but I don't want to play the game because I don't think it looks good. I think it looks bad.
It's not really about what you want. It's about me telling you how to enjoy things. What else?
There's a new Prince of Persia game coming out the week this episode releases. I think Friday. If you're listening to this on Monday, it comes out on Thursday. It's getting real good reviews from what I've seen.
It is. I saw like an 87 on Metacritic or something like that. It's getting pretty good reviews.
It's like a 2D Metroidvania, and y'all know Matt loves a 2D Metroidvania. Y'all know it.
You. Know it.
Vanessa has some news. She told me to tell you that Konami is re-releasing a bunch of their old platformers, including a rare Felix the Cat game.
I genuinely love Felix the Cat.
Yeah, me too. Did you watch that movie a million times when you were a kid?
I'm not sure about that, but I do think I watched the shorts. There might have been a cartoon on, maybe in the 90s even, that was pretty good, like a new Felix cartoon. I don't know what I saw, but I saw something Felix and I liked it.
There was definitely a movie that came out in the 90s and then was played on HBO over and over again for like 3 years. On like Saturday morning. So that was their like, and then I would be like, well, Gargoyles and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and X-Men and Batman are over, so I'm going to watch the Felix movie.
I don't remember Felix the Cat.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's cool? What's cool about him?
I don't know.
Does he smoke cigarettes?
He had a little suitcase.
Yeah, he had a suitcase.
That's not cool.
I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it might have been a carpet bag, if that's any cooler.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cooler. Is there like stuff in it? Is it like a magic bag?
Yeah, he has a magic bag.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I do like Felix the Cat.
New...
He had a magic bag. It was called his Bag of Tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Felix the Cat had a bag of tricks. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a bluegrass song.
It's a one-of-a-kind satchel, which usually takes the form of a suitcase / a carpet bag half mix, which is yellow with black markings.
Yeah, I remember that.
Huh. Is he like a magic cat?
No, he just
like
has
the
a
cat,
bag of tricks.
Like the Cat in the Hat? Okay. He's not like teaching children lessons.
I wonder where I could watch that movie now if I wanted to. Like YouTube, do you think?
I'm not sure Felix has a mission or purpose, like the Cat in the Hat.
He's just hanging out?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just like does whatever he wants.
I mean, what's Bugs Bunny's mission and purpose? What's Mickey Mouse's mission and purpose?
Mickey Mouse's mission and purpose is to be your pal.
That's weird.
Felix...
Mickey Mouse is the king of the Disney kingdom, and his purpose is to help Sora and Riku find Kingdom Hearts before Ansem does.
True.
Felix the Cat sounds like just some layabout.
He's not a layabout. He's a cat about town.
Oh. With a bag of tricks.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about?
Felix the Cat. So there was one last piece of hot gaming news. It's not actually that hot. But it looks like PlayStation, or Sony rather, may be releasing like a version 2 of the DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5.
Oh.
Better battery life.
Those do
12-hour
have pretty
battery
terrible
life.
battery lives.
Yeah, they do. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. That's a good one, Matt.
Thanks. I did it.
Today, the day of this recording, which is January 11th, they released the trailer for season 2 of Halo. Everyone's favorite show on the most popular streaming service that everybody has, Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I watched that trailer and I liked the visuals a lot, and I couldn't understand any of the dialogue that was said. Like, I don't know if it was mixed badly or like it was weird. It was impossible to understand.
Maybe they're speaking like Master Chief language.
No, because occasionally I would pick something up, but it just seemed like it was both too loud and too high-pitched or something.
What's Master Chief language?
No, I don't know.
Grunting?
Yeah, grunting.
It's the muffled sound of him talking through that mask that he's never allowed to take off his face. And that's why we hate that show, because they dared to give this character a face. How dare you?
He showed his butt.
And a butt!
We had a nice discussion in the group chat today, the three of us, about the merits of showing hole.
No, we're not. We don't need to. We do not need to revisit that conversation on the show. This is a family-friendly podcast.
I mean, I think we all came out as anti.
I'm indifferent. Like I said, I'm not like morally opposed to showing a butthole, but like I just can't think of a good reason to do it.
I hate this. There is good reason to do that.
I would like to reiterate my position that if you do show a butthole, something's either got to be going in or coming out.
No,
like you can't have Chekhov's butthole.
Okay, that's just pornography, Jim. Like, just
no,
go
it's
watch
not.
porn.
Pornography depends on context, Matt. It's all context. Anyways, how'd you level up?
Yeah,
great question.
How'd you level up, Vanessa?
Speaking of pornography, I've been rewatching The Handmaid's Tale.
Wait a minute.
Pornography are you a conservative? That's pornography for conservatives.
Yeah, pornography for conservative dreamland. I don't know what motivated me to rewatch this show. I've just kind of been in the mood. It's not always great. The whole premise might be problematic depending on how you look at things. The book was definitely written based on things that actually happen to women, but generally women of color, and then puts a white woman in the titular role. So that, well, not titular, in the main character role. So that's a little weird. Also, they really, like, the book covers the first season.
Oh, really?
Yep. And so then after that, they kind of had to keep concocting reasons for the characters that were in the first book together to still be interacting with each other. And that gets very frustrating because it's ostensibly the main focus of the drama is our lead character trying to escape this fascist nation. And you know it can't really happen because then where does your story go from that? So it's frustrating. It's a lot of like near misses.
I've never watched it, though I've always wanted to. I didn't realize that only the first season is based on the book. Now I'm way less interested in watching it. You should just read the book.
One thing is you can watch the first season and get a pretty good idea of the book. It uses a lot of internal monologue, like from the book.
Huh.
It's a pretty accurate representation of it. So you can just watch it. It ends exactly the way the book does, and then go on with your life. It's only 10 episodes, I think, the first season.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying the following seasons are not as good. Diminishing returns.
I mean, the actors are very good in it. Eventually, Bradley Whitford shows up as a character, and everyone loves him. So, you know, it just kind of depends. It's an interesting near future apocalyptic kind of show. So that's something.
Future
if you're into
conservatives
that.
want.
I
That's
would be
what they want.
careful with media like that in an election year. Don't want to bum yourself out too much.
Yeah, I think that probably like real life headlines have been inspiring me to work through maybe some of my feelings about that stuff with
Oh yeah, that's
Handmaid's
like
Tale.
when Trump got elected and I watched all of West Wing.
Yeah,
I was like, I need something to
that's
help.
a little bit of the opposite. I think I did.
Yeah,
the
it
same
is.
too. I don't remember.
It is the opposite, but it's still a similar compulsion to like
Yes.
dive into a fantasy.
Other than that, that is pretty much exclusively what I've been doing. Might sound like a bummer, and maybe it is, but you know what? That's life. Jim, how did you level up?
I went and saw the hot new movie of the new year. Front runner for Best Picture. I think Best Screenplay. I don't know how it's going to be topped, but I went and saw a movie called Night Swim that is about a family that moves into a house. And this house has an amazing pool.
Wow.
Everybody loves the pool.
Wow.
In this movie, like the whole first 2/3 of this movie is this family geeking out over this pool. There's dialogue among the kids where they say, "We're a pool family now." The main character of the movie, when they go to leave the house, says, "Why do you hate the pool? This pool's the best thing that ever happened to us." Everybody loves the pool. But it turns out the pool actually has sinister intentions. It's actually I probably shouldn't spoil the movie. It's in the trailer. It's
feel free
it's a haunted
because
pool.
I don't watch Oscar winners, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's true. So the pool is haunted.
What?
There's ghosts in the pool. The pool is actually like an ancient Japanese wishing well. And it will grant your deepest wish, but it also demands a sacrifice in return.
I see.
So the main character, played by Wyatt Russell, is a former professional baseball player who recently got diagnosed with MS. And so he unwittingly unleashes the power of the pool when he wishes to be a professional athlete again. And as he miraculously starts to recover from his MS, the pool begins doing sinister things to his family. At one point, he is underwater in the pool, and the pool possesses him. A man becomes possessed by the pool, which is fucking hilarious. I started to giggle so hard towards the end of the movie that my girlfriend had to tell me to keep it down. But watching a man get possessed by a pool, it's basically The Shining, but with a pool. And I thought of a great joke while I was watching the movie is that it's not a ghost, it's a Pooltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Like
That
Pooltergeist, but with a
So
pool.
when you
It should have
said
been
this
the
was
tagline.
It should have been the tagline. Should have been the title of the movie.
when you said this was like the number one contender for the Oscar.
I was being 100% serious.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Like the Pooltergeist is that powerful, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the pool is an allegory for our culture of immediate gratification. This man loves being in the pool. The pool is magic, like it's miraculously stream-fed, geothermically heated pool, the perfect pool you can imagine. And it's like you said, the best thing that ever happened to that family.
A heated pool does not sound like the best thing I can imagine. In fact, most of the time, I don't want my pool to be hot. I want my pool to be cool.
You want a cool pool.
Yeah. That's what pools are for. If you want a hot pool, that's a sauna. Or a hot tub.
Do you consider yourself to be a pool family, Matt?
I do have a pool. It is a teeny tiny crappy pool that is only 3 feet all the way around and is only about half the size of your typical backyard swimming pool. It's not an above ground pool. It's an in-ground pool, but it's very similar to an above ground pool. It's a piece of shit and I don't use it.
I've dipped my toes in that pool. I thought it was pretty refreshing.
Also, it like has this issue of the trees above it are so overgrown that it
they're
never
very dense.
It never gets enough sun. So even in the dead of summer when it's 100 degrees outside, my pool is too fucking cold to get in.
It's a cool pool.
You just
It's
said
not a
you
cool
wanted
pool.
a cool pool.
It's a freezing cold pool. I'm sorry. There's a
It
difference
is pretty
between
cold.
cool and ice cold.
I don't know. It sounds
The
like you could
pool.
use a little heating in your pool.
Yeah,
Shit,
it
she's
sounds
right.
like you need to think about geothermal heating for your pool.
It's true.
Does your pool possess you? So in this movie, when Wyatt Russell was underwater, some black water appeared in the pool and then made its way hilariously into his nose and mouth.
Up his butthole? Is that
does
why?
that
Is that where the
happen?
butthole talk came from?
Yeah, Chekhov's butthole. See Wyatt Russell. Has that happened to you? Have you gotten
Yeah.
any black water in your orifices that
Yeah.
cause you to go on murderous rampages towards your family?
Not murderous rampages. But rampages, sure. Drinking rampages. It does possess me and force me to go sit out by it sometimes and just kind of hang out and have a beer and enjoy the evening. Is that similar?
Sinister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, that's how I leveled up. I saw 2024's best film. Keep it top of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Come
I have a
award
question.
season. Night Swim. Yeah.
Were you to compare Pooltergeist to Swim Fan, which do you think is the superior pool horror film?
I'm gonna say Night Swim. One, because it has Wyatt Russell, who's a really good actor, and two, it really amps up the scares by putting ghosts in the pool. Nothing scarier than a pool ghost.
Okay, well, what if we add Let the Right One In to this scenario?
That
has a very deadly pool scene.
It does. I don't know that I would call that a pool movie, but it does have a couple very sinister pool
I
scenes.
feel like a lot of that movie takes place at the pool.
Like two scenes take place in the pool, right?
Okay, but those two scenes make up an hour of the movie.
The most uncomfortable violence. A lot of the most uncomfortable violence happens in the pool in that movie. But yeah, that's how I leveled up.
I know
Matt,
what comes
how
next.
did you level up? Matt's turn.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks and I just have not done much. All right, like I have been doing life stuff. I leveled up by my brother getting married. Congratulations, Bannon, to you and your bride.
Mrs. Curtains.
Yep. Congratulations, Curtains. It's not really curtains anymore. It's got more of a Proud Boy look these days.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's not really my level up though. So,
Hey, Matt.
hey, yeah.
You doing any streaming recently?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Great job, Vanessa. I did level up by doing America's hottest new YouTube stream. That's right. We being Jim and I streamed Final Fantasy VI last night, and we're gonna do it again next week, and maybe the week after that, and maybe the week after that, and on and on and on. We'll see how that goes. And you can find that on the Square Roots Podcast YouTube channel. One of them. There's two. It's on the wrong one. Maybe we'll fix that. Maybe we won't. I don't really know. But yeah, we streamed a couple hours of Final Fantasy VI last night, and it was great. We had a great time. And Vanessa joined us in the chat and heckled our viewers and us.
Mm-hmm.
And we played up to the Returners hideout. Wow.
No, we did. Well, we did stop there, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
That's
We did a great job.
That's how I leveled up, unless you guys want to talk about Spider-Man. Did you know that Spider-Man... did you know that there's a new Spider-Man? There's a Spider-Man. He's new.
What's his name?
His name is Peter Parker.
No, that's the old Spider-Man.
Well, no, but this is a new Spider-Man because this is Ultimate Spider-Man, and Peter Parker is like in his late 30s, and he has 2 kids, and he's married to Mary Jane Parker.
Does he have radioactive cum?
He doesn't, because he does not have superpowers, because the evil Reed Richards traveled from an alternate universe and came to this universe, and this is And then he stopped all the superheroes from becoming superheroes. Like Spider-Man, he took the spider so that Peter Parker didn't get bit. But then Tony Stark figured out what was going on. And he's like a teenager for some reason. And teenage Tony Stark stopped the evil Reed Richards. And now old Spider-Man, old married Spider-Man has his own book. And that's it. And Ben is still alive. And May is dead. And at the very end of the first issue, he was like, I'm going to be Spider-Man. And he takes the spider out. And that's how it ends.
He took a spider out?
Vanessa? Of what? So
well, Tony Stark traveled to the future and then sent back packages to a variety of heroes that kind of had their hero-ness stolen from them. And Peter Parker's package had the spider that made him radioactive, kind of in stasis in it. And he took it out and put it on his hand, and it bit him. So he kind of chose to be Spider-Man, which is neat.
He should have eaten it.
It
would have been cooler if he would have.
That's how you get power.
So
did he know that it was a superhero spider? Like, was Tony Stark like, Dear Peter Parker, please be Spider-Man, which is what you were destined to be, but
that's exactly what happens.
Evil McStretchy.
You literally could be the writer for Ultimate Spider-Man. You're so on the nose. You're so correct. You know what? So I'm kind of goofing around about it, but it's pretty neat. Y'all remember, we've talked about it on the show before. There's that old Ultimate universe that was big in the 2000s where they kind of did a new version of the Marvel Universe. And then after about 10 years, they kind of wrapped that up. That's where Miles Morales came from and a few other characters. And they kind of wrapped that universe up. But now they've decided to launch a new version called the Ultimate. It's also called the Ultimate Universe, but it's not like the same universe. It's like a different Ultimate Universe. And in this one, the Reed Richards from the original Ultimate Universe, who became super evil, is like went and took over the universe basically by using time travel to kind of manipulate everything. And there was a series called Ultimate Invasion that kind of sparked it off with us seeing Howard and Tony Stark take down the evil Reed Richards, and now there are some series launching out of that. And this Ultimate Spider-Man is actually, it's interesting because it's kind of a giving fans what they want, you know? Like, I don't know if y'all know this, but they did that whole like Peter and Mary Jane aren't married anymore thing like 10 years ago, and fans have been really mad about it ever since, myself included, to be perfectly frank.
Did they get a divorce?
No. Aunt May was dying, and Peter made a deal with Mephisto to save Aunt May's life, but Mephisto took away his marriage, and it just kind of rewrote history so that they never got married. It's called One More Day, and everybody fucking hates it. And anyway, regular Spider-Man's been kind of declining in popularity, so this kind of feels like a handout to, Marvel Spider-Man fans to be like, hey, this is what you want, right? And it is. I want to see Spider-Dad. He's got 2 kids. It's cute. It's fun.
We've seen it. It's what's in those Spider-Man movies.
Yes, it is. Except for this is like older. Like in that he's got the baby, right? But in this, like he's got like a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. He's like got a life.
Are they sticky?
Are the kids sticky?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because he didn't have the powers, so.
Oh, so they're not spider kids.
No, they're not spider kids. Everything's normal.
Is he still in New York?
He is still in New York. He works at the Daily Bugle, and his Uncle Ben is also an editor at the Daily Bugle, like a co-editor with J. Jonah Jameson, which was an interesting way to do it. And I don't know, like, I've rambled now, but it's pretty neat. Go check out Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, it was a really great issue, particularly an issue without Spider-Man in it once, which is always kind of my favorite thing, is to have like a good comic book story that doesn't actually have action and is just like emotional. It's fucking great.
One last question.
Mm-hmm.
Is he strong?
Yeah, he's going to be real strong because he put the spider on the back of his hand and then it bit him, and now he is going to be Spider-Man, and so he's going to have radioactive cum, like Jim says, and he's going to have radioactive loads and all that stuff like Jim wants him to have. And he's gonna be
That's
strong.
One thing you gotta have in every Spider-Man like mythology. Just like Batman's parents are dead, Peter Parker's cum is radioactive.
Yep, that's true. That's absolutely true.
And it goes thwack.
I think the running theory on the internet right now is that at least one of those kids is going to die because Spider-Man's got to have a dead family member that he's real concerned about. Or
No
maybe Mary
kid.
Jane. Yeah, I don't really want that. Like, let's just get the fun adventures of married dad Spider-Man for fuck's sake. That's what we're here for. Also, they're launching an Ultimate X-Men series by Peach Momoko, and it looks fucking amazing.
Ah,
Momoko?
so Mr. Stretchy couldn't take away the mutant gene, huh?
Yeah, no. In fact, you still had like Colossus and Ilyana Rasputin and some of those characters. In Evil Reed Richards' world, every country seemed to be run by like a collection of supervillains, but it's like a big secret. Look, I don't want to get into it. Let's just do the quest log. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
So where did we leave off last time? Let's all open our codexes.
Vanessa's just been sending Felix the
And-
cat pictures to the chat.
I know.
I looked up the Felix the Cat movie and read a bit of the synopsis, and wow, that is not what I thought it was going to say. Oh, the
Oh.
princess from a magic kingdom transports Felix to her planet and blah blah blah.
That's
Sounds
not
like
what
Super
I
Mario.
saw.
No, that link you sent, or you were right. There was a 1995 to 1997, The Twisted Adventures or something of Felix the Cat, and that must be what you
Did he
saw.
have a? Could you see his boner? That
Yeah.
was twisted.
Yeah. It's not your daddy's Felix.
Like when they tried to do that Ren and Stimpy reboot, remember that? And it was all like weird adult, quote unquote, adult humor.
Yeah, and nobody liked it.
Everybody hated it.
Also, I was wrong in that Felix the Cat movie was from the 80s, not the 90s. Isn't that weird?
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it really does. I don't want to talk about cartoon characters' boners anymore, Jim. I want to talk about Dragon Age characters' boners, and you guys are supposed to ask me a special question.
Yeah.
Does your character have a boner?
Always.
Matt, what is your experience with this game and how are you playing it?
I'm playing it on my Xbox Series X, and I have played this game before. I came near completion, but I did not finish the game because I did get tired of this big, stupid fucking open world. But I did get through the big mid-game twists. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And beyond that, so I've played this before, and in fact, I played it the exact same way I'm playing it now. So I had initially started this game a few weeks ago as a mage, and I played all the way through the first chunker as a mage, and it was boring. I was very bored. And then John reminded me that I was going to play a John character. I said I was going to play a John character. So now I decided to play evil Bronnie Jandon, and I decided to make him a rogue because being a dual-wielding rogue is pretty fucking dope in this game. Did y'all know? You like turn invisible, and then you like walk around behind somebody, you stab them in the fucking back, and they're like, ah!
You're like, oh, I'm so surprised.
Not really. Like the I don't know if you'll agree with me on this. The enemies have way too much fucking health in this game. Like, you just find yourself standing around a monster, just holding down the button while a bunch of characters all hit. It's almost more like an MMO than a fucking, like an action game. Well, not even an
It's
action
like a
game.
dungeon crawler.
Like, it's really lame. Like, if you're going to let me have all these cool rogue powers, I should be one-shotting these fucking people with these sneak attacks. And
Maybe
instead
you're just
it's
not
like...
using them right.
I am using them right.
Have you tried equipping different, better weapons?
Yeah. Yep. In fact, I crafted my own knives, and they're stronger than anything I've been able to buy or find.
Have you tried leveling up?
Yep. I'm level 9, I think.
Have you
7?
put it in story mode?
No. Should I? I mean, it's not that I find the game hard. It's that I find it kind of boring. That everything's very tanky, and it makes the fights kind of boring. I like
think
the
that's
combat.
Why, yeah,
I like the
think
combat.
That's why. I think that's why I gravitated towards being a warrior with a two-handed weapon, because I felt like I was doing so much damage, and I could really tell when I had found like an enemy weakness, or when I had learned to like attack in tandem with my mage. Like my mage would cast freeze or whatever, and then I would do a big two-handed attack, and it would do shatter on them on their status effect, and it would do away with a big chunk of their health.
I do like to. My strategy is kind of to go in head first as the rogue, but invisible, and get up behind the closest enemy and hit him in the back. And then Iron Bull will come running up and hit them right in the face, which allows me to then stab them in the back again, which is pretty fun.
That's a good surprise.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's my experience with the game. I have played most of it before, and I am playing it on the Xbox. And I played the first chunker of this game twice.
And did you import your decisions from Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2?
No. I don't think I did it when I did Dragon Age 2.
Man, y'all just can't be bothered.
I didn't do it with Mass Effect either. I don't give a shit. I barely remember. So, like, what does it matter? I barely remember what happened in Dragon Age 2.
It matters because in some universes, Alistair is the king of Ferelden, and in some universes, he's a sad old drunk, and I will be darned if I'm going to have my number one Dragon Age boo anything other than the queen with my warden ruling by his side.
Wait, your Alistair's the queen? Yeah.
Essentially, like power-wise. If we're talking about traditional, like, who really controls the throne, he's the queen.
I decided that I was going to definitely get Bronnie into, like, a gay relationship in this game, but I'm having a tough time with it because nobody other than Iron Bull seems really into it, and I know Iron Bull's, like, love story, and I don't want to do it. I'm not into BDSM.
Sometimes you have to work at relationships before a man will go to bed with you. I know it sounds crazy.
I know. This is the 6th one of these games that we've played, if you count the Mass Effect games. And I don't think I've done a relationship in any of them because I never, like, pick up on what I'm supposed to be doing to make that happen. And I'm starting to feel like this is too much like real life. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Talk to them. And when you get that little heart, option, you gotta open your heart.
Well, I'm going to land me a boyfriend in this playthrough, and Bronnie Jandon is going to, Sorry, I decided that it's a rolled R, so it's Bronnie. Bronnie Jandon!
You better not try to make it with my dwarf scout, or you and I are going to have problems.
What, Hardin?
Harding.
That's a lady dwarf.
You don't like lady dwarves?
He just said, like, 3 times.
He doesn't listen to anything. He doesn't listen to anything other than what he says. He only hears his own voice, and the rest of us are just going,
it's been a long day.
He's waiting for us to stop talking so that he can start.
I'm just waiting for my turn to talk. Yes.
The quest log. Last time we ended with Mother Havara taking a fist right to the face. And
pretty funny.
It was great.
And an arrow whizzing past our ear. If we approach the arrow, there's a note attached to it telling us to seek out 3 red satchels in the city, and each has a clue leading us to a place where we can meet Red Jenny. Sounds like a pirate.
Sounds like a Robin Hood type character.
Sounds like a rash.
Sounds like a poisonous plant that if you touch, it leaves a rash. Oh, no, you got into a patch of Red Jenny, did ya?
You can also go and talk to Mother Havara a little bit if you want to. I did, and she's like, "Are you the Herald of Andraste?" And I was like, "Oh, no." She's like, "That's more comforting than you know." So I guess she was happy that I'm not, like, claiming to be.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I am. Get on board, sister." She didn't like it. She did not like it.
We're also approached by a mage who has an invitation to an event at the Ghislaine Estate. I guess that's how you say it. Ghislaine? Mm-hmm. Ghislaine Estate?
That's
from Epstein?
That's Epstein's girlfriend, right?
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah.
Ghislaine is how you pronounce it.
At the Ghislaine Estate, which of course we immediately report to the authorities, and justice is served.
Wow.
No, it's
what?
There's a whole mission where you find the visitor logs to the Ghislaine Estate, release them to an independent Orlean journalist.
Mm-hmm. But the people of Thedas are like, well, Trump was just there, to check on things. He's not actually part of this.
Did you see that Bill Clinton was on this list? Can you believe that? Nobody else important.
Yep.
Elf Bill
Nobody
Clinton.
else was
This is fantasy. We're not talking about the real world. Elf Clinton.
Yeah, Elf Clinton.
And
Elf Clinton.
Dwarfled Trump.
Dorful Trump. This invitation is from Vivienne Defer.
Love Vivienne.
Finally,
Vivienne.
on our way out, we get one last invitation, and that's from Grand Enchanter Fiona, the leader of the Rebel Mages, who asks us to meet her in Redcliffe.
Yeah, we can finally go to Redcliffe. If you guys...
Hey, Vanessa, tell us about Grand Enchanter Fiona.
I'm so glad you asked, Matt. Grand Enchanter Fiona shows up in 2 significant Dragon Age books. They are...
Oh, boy.
Dragon Age The Calling and Dragon Age Asunder. They're about her adventures as a Grey Warden. Also features King Merrick Theron, whose death was sort of a catalyst for the first game, Dragon Age Origins, as you know. In fact, she gets very close with Merrick, and they have a little illegitimate son named Alistair.
What? This is
Did
Alistair's
I just
mom?
blow your mind? She his mama.
Wow. I do want to say that I can't imagine anything more boring than Dragon Age books.
We decided on the episode that you weren't here for to read one as a bonus episode.
Who decided that? Like, who's claiming that for their bonus?
I guess Johnny?
You know, if I edit that part out of the episode, it's like it never happened.
Yeah,
You
but that
already
episode was
released
already
the
released.
episode. Did you edit it out?
I can. I didn't edit that episode.
No.
John did.
We can take it off the feed, re-edit it, and put it back up. No one will ever know.
We can. Revisionist history.
Just
What
start
book did we
gaslighting the
decide to
listeners so
read?
that when they go back and listen to it again, it'll be like, this is not the same episode I heard before.
What book did we decide to read?
We didn't actually. It was just an idea we were batting around.
We did talk about it, yeah.
I mean, are they
Good.
good? I do not know. I haven't read them. I have read other, like, made-for-hire world tie-in novels. Some of them might be okay. People like some of those Star Wars books.
Have you guys ever read a video game book, like a video game extended universe book?
I read not since I was a kid. I may have talked about this on the show, but I'm going to bring it up again. I read 2 books when I was a middle schooler that I was fucking obsessed with. The first was Myst.
Oh,
I
yeah,
loved
yeah.
the Myst game.
I read that
Was it the
too.
book of
the story
Was it the
in
book
any
of
way, shape, or
Atris?
form.
Did you read the book of Atris?
I don't
Like
know. It's
about
just
the
called
child.
Myst.
Like Atris was the name of the main character in the first Myst game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a book that's about him growing up and being with his dad and learning how to write the world books.
Yeah, I think that's what I read.
Shit out of that book. I love that book.
That was a pretty good
It
book.
was the Book of Atris.
It was
You're
a
right.
book. Yeah, good book.
I just
Yeah.
looked it up, and that's the cover that I remember.
Man,
And
imagine
I
all 3 of
read-
us little babies reading the Book of Atris, dotted across
know.
this great nation because Johnny isn't here.
Yeah.
Never knowing
This
God.
is great continent.
that
No,
somewhere out
John
there
didn't read
another
it. John doesn't know
nerd
how to
was
read.
reading the Book of Atris.
I also read a weird Mortal Kombat adaptation that was not an adaptation of like the movie. It was just its own thing. And I was fucking obsessed with it. And I don't know what to say about it other than that. It was its own version of Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? It was like Splinter of the Mind's Eye, the Mortal Kombat version. Where they just gave somebody license to just do whatever the fuck you want. We don't care. I'm sure I've brought that up on the show before. It is like out of print. I've looked into it. It's not like it's not something I can get. But I loved it. So that answers your questions.
Yeah, I read Book of Atris. That was what I was thinking of when I asked the question. Was Book of Atris? I liked that we all read it.
Oh, I
It
also
has
read
pretty
the
good reviews out there, like 4 out of 5 stars.
It
and
does.
stuff. Maybe that wasn't that bad.
I also read the Nintendo Choose Your Own Adventure books. Does that count? Remember, there was a Zelda one and a Mario one and a Castlevania one. They weren't Choose Your Own Adventure. They were like their own brand.
I don't remember reading that, but I do remember reading like a weird Nintendo magazine article where it was like, I was hanging out with my friend Link and we went on all of these adventures, and it like details it. And then my mom called me and told me it was time for me to come have a sandwich. And I was like, this was a pointless waste of time. It's like just some kid playing Zelda. The end.
It was Mortal Kombat by Jeff Rovin, and it came out in 1995, and I was fucking obsessed with it.
Dragon Age The Calling is not as well reviewed as the Book of Atris.
I feel like I've heard people talk about Asunder being good, but I could be making that up.
I just want to read that hot Alistair conception scene.
Is there a hot sex scene?
Well, I don't know, but I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, Nintendo game books. That's what they were called. Didn't we talk about doing these for like a bonus once back when? Remember Jesse's podcast that I don't remember the name of? That guy that vanished.
Did we not do one of those? Did we do one of those?
Yeah, I did one of them.
No. Well, yeah. Jim, John, and I did one, and we made so many child molestation jokes that Jesse never released the episode.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
The Choose Your Own Adventure was very weird and like old man hits on a little boy creepy. And the three of us just went fucking ham on that. And I think Jesse tried to save it and it was just unsavable.
Yeah.
He kept trying to like steer us away from the statutory rape and we were not having it.
I did a couple episodes with current listener to the show, Aaron Little.
Huh. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I think I remember listening to that actually.
I don't think that those episodes are available anywhere anymore.
I don't think so.
Too bad. So sad.
Forever. Yeah. So we get all these invitations, but we can leave Val Royeaux now. Wait, no. Did we get the character?
No, we can't. Well, you do leave. Technically, you leave Val Royeaux, but then you go to Val Royeaux to the special courtyard.
Yeah, it's just like a little extra area.
It's like one room.
Mm-hmm.
So for Red Jenny, you, as
Red
Vanessa
Jenny.
said, you get like an arrow shoots into the ground and like startles your party, who are all like, "What the fuck?" It's pretty funny. And then it tells you to find red things, and so you walk around. There's 3 little red satchels scattered around Val Royeaux.
Very usefully marked on the map.
Yep, very handily marked on the map. You have to use that like ping thing where they won't be interactable unless you ping right next to them, which is weird. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing that this game added in.
I like the pinging.
Do you?
I think it's kind of satisfying. I like the haptic feedback.
Ping.
And then once you find all 3, they lead you to this special courtyard. And then once you get there, you kind of fight some bad guys, and then you run into this masked Orlesian noble who...
Yeah, it's great.
This is weird.
He's like, I don't know how you uncovered my plans, Inquisition, but you'll see. And you can be like, I don't know who you are. And then he's like, play coy if you want. But he's basically like saying that he's our arch nemesis.
And then he gets shot in the head.
With an arrow.
Yeah, with an arrow.
Just like the one that startled us, only he's a little bit more startled. Or less.
Yeah, I don't know how startled he is because he does kind of die pretty quickly. I don't think he has time to be startled. I think he has time to go, did something sting me in the head? And then his brain stops working. So anyway, and then this lady shows up. Her name is Sera. She's an elf. And she has like what kind of accent does she have? I kind of love it.
Cockney.
Cockney?
Yeah.
Oi, my name is Sera, the elf, and I'm Red Jenny, kinda. It's kind of a group of friends and people that kind of hate the nobility. And I'm not Red Jenny, I'm Sera, but I am Red Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Like Red Jenny is like it's like a collective name for people who are fighting on behalf of the little guy.
Little people.
It's that classic, like, overused to death thing of, like, nobody notices the servants. Okay.
Yeah.
She
She's
tells
like
us
Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She tells us that more guards are on their way, but it's okay because she has taken all of their trousers.
Breaches.
Oh, yep. No
I know that
breaches.
it's the same thing, but she does say breaches. Yeah, and she
Yeah.
does. She finds herself very funny, and then we kill a bunch of men with her dicks out.
She's what, like, I think this is a literary term. She's a stinker.
Yeah.
She's just a little stinker.
Yes, that famous Shakespearean literary term, lil stinker.
She has a pretty terrible pixie cut.
Yeah.
She does have a terrible pixie cut, and my problem with Sera is that I don't need another rogue. I don't need another rogue. And we're going to get 2 rogues in this fucking chunker. I don't need another rogue. I am a rogue. And we already have a rogue. Stop giving me rogues.
Yeah, and
There are
Barrett's like
quite
the
a
best.
few rogues.
I feel like this game needed more classes. That's, I think, the problem. You've only got 3. It's kind of dumb.
What would have been a good additional class?
I mean, you could have done... Like, so what
Bard.
do we have? Yep, love a
Bard.
bard.
Necromancer. That would have been a cool one.
They kind of break 2 of the classes up. So, like, your warriors can be, like, 2-handed, like, berserk barbarian type warriors, or, like, sword and shield kind of soldier or paladin type warriors. And your rogues can be like sneaky knifey boys, or they can be like bow and arrow kind of rangers. But you could have added in some extra stuff, like maybe some different kinds of magic users that aren't just this.
Well, I mean, I guess this is a major spoiler, but there are specializations later in the game, and your party members specialize in different areas. So
I
there,
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
there does come to be a little bit more nuance,
Well, that's good.
but not much.
Not a lot, yeah. Like like you get an additional skill tree with a few things on it.
I have been using Sera up until about the end of this chunker, and I like her. She has a lot of great dialogue with the other characters. She is actually this introduction for me with the no breaches. I was like, oh boy, I don't know about this. But once I got her in my party, like her dialogue with Solus and her dialogue with Iron Bull, once you get him, was pretty fun.
Yeah, her dialogue with Solus is pretty great because she is an elf, but she can't be bothered with any kind of elven lore or history or anything like that. She thinks it's stupid.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And so that's Sera. We recruit her. Did anybody not recruit her?
No.
And I guess we're going to recruit everybody, aren't we? So I don't need to ask that question.
Yeah. Next, we can go to Vivienne's party. We get there, and it's in full swing. And the moment we walk through the door, this noble comes down the stairs doing sort of another villain monologue, but he's just like, "It's the Inquisition! I hate you! I hate your stupid face! I hate what you stand for! I'm going to remove my glove and slap you across the face, and then..."
All right, I gotta ask a question.
Yeah.
Why is France in this game?
It's not.
Why is this a thing?
I'm doing a Norwegian accent.
I understand that, Vanessa. Why, Jim, answer me this. Why is France in this game? Was France in the other games?
Why is England in the other games? You
That's
know,
the
you
setting.
don't hear like Sera coming up with her Cockney accent and being like, "Why is she Cockney? What's with that?"
That's true. Yeah.
It just seems really weird that they're like, half this continent is France. And
Half of Europe
so
is
tell me
France.
this.
Is that
I don't
weird?
think that's
This is not true?
geographically correct.
True.
Did we have like a bunch of Orlesians like this in the other games? Was Orlesia such a big...
It's not Orlesia, it's Orlais.
I don't care. Was it such a big part of the games and I just don't remember there being like all these
No.
fucking French people walking around?
No, because
Like,
the
I'm
first
just
game
saying, like,
takes
why is
place
it
in
just
Ferelden
France? Like,
exclusively.
If you, the map where it like splits between the two, I don't know why that annoys me so much, but it does. Like, it's right next to each other. It's one big board. I shouldn't have to back out to go to the left side of the board. Anyway. Like,
Sorry,
I'm just
you
saying,
hate
if you were going to
nations.
do this, why is it just this and not like, you know, like do the other European countries then?
There
you know?
are. You remember Zevran from the first game? He had a different kind of accent. It's like
Who the fuck is Zevran?
I remember Zevran. He was an elf.
Just making up names.
I remember Zevran.
Yeah.
It just seems
You
weird
had
to me to
Giorgino,
just be
the
like,
Italian.
Welcome to Dragon Age, France. That's what this game should be called. It's fucking weird. And also, I don't like the French accent that much. So listening to all these people talk makes me want to stab them.
Wow.
I want to stab these
Suck
motherfuckers.
on that, French.
Ho, ho, ho. I
So
like
far you've
frog
demonstrated
legs.
Anglophobia, Francophobia. What's next?
I mean, I also talk some shit about Canada.
Oh, yeah. Canophobia?
This is the American Patriot episode, Vanessa. Get on
Canuckophobia.
board.
I forgot.
Get
USA,
out of my
USA.
country. I'll deport you. to
Iron Bull
France.
has an American accent, so obviously he's the good guy.
Like, I get having a bunch of different countries and like using different accents and stuff. It just feels weird to me that so much of it is just France, just French. Jim, I know you agree with me, but you're sitting there quietly because you don't want to come across as a francophobe.
No, I do. I don't know that I hate it, but every time I hear someone talk, I'm like, why is this the accent?
Why
Like,
shouldn't it
would've
be?
There's so many fucking French people in this game.
There's so many French people in the world. Deal with it.
I mean, a lot of traditional, like, European fantasy is, like, English-based. It's fucking King Arthur and, you know,
The
all
Three
that stuff.
Musketeers, the Man
Yeah.
in the Iron Mask,
Yeah,
the Count of
exactly.
Monte Cristo.
That's not fucking fantasy. Give me a break. Come on.
So at Vivienne's party, this guy is nagging us, and suddenly he turns to ice. He's frozen solid, and Vivienne is like, "Ice to meet you, Inquisition."
And she says, chill.
Yeah.
Do you know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
And we're like, "What's a dinosaur? Are you talking about an archdemon?" Like,
It's the best line from that movie because it's.
You mean a deep stalker?
yeah,
You
deep
mean
stalker?
do you mean a dragon?
Yeah.
Did you mean to say dragon? Because they're still alive. I've seen several.
Aren't the deep stalkers little dinosaurs?
They do look
Yeah,
like
they
those
are,
little
like, little
dinosaurs from
copies.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. Little sources.
Compies, yeah.
Hey, I had a different kind of situation here.
Oh,
This guy talked a lot of shit to me, and I told him to stuff it up his stupid fucking ass. And then he reached behind his back and tried to pull a knife. And Vivienne froze him, and she was like, "As the injured party, I would like for you to decide what to do with him. How, how." And I was like, "Kill him." And she did. She ice murdered him.
wow.
Yep, that was the first real evil choice I got to make in the game.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that she was a party to that.
Dude, she straight murders him, and then we just carry on with our conversation like nothing happened. It was fucking
Vivienne
sweet.
She's actually a pretty brutal character. She has very little regard for the lives of other people.
Mm-hmm. It's true. She's interesting. She's a mage, but she has sort of used her political wiles to become the mistress to this duke. And she is a court advisor to the Empress of Orlais. So she's not really confined to the circle in the same way other mages are. She's worked her way up through the ranks.
She's
Could
a
you
knight
please-
enchanter too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a hybrid class. Is that right?
Could you
It
please
is. It's
crunch that cereal as loudly as possible into your microphone for Jim?
Yeah.
Like he does
Yeah.
with the ice that he eats every
I
episode?
will. I mean, it's really soggy. It's been sitting here for a long time.
Wow.
It's
Gross.
very soggy Cheerios. She is a knight enchanter.
And by sitting there for a while, she means all day. It's literally
All day.
The milk has curdled. It is more chunk than milk.
It's soy milk, so it's fine.
Wow.
Oh.
She, knight enchanter. You can, if you're a mage, specialize in that later as well if you want to. Basically, you get an ability where you have you get like the hilt of a sword, and then you can make a magic sword appear and slash with that.
Is that what that's for?
Yeah.
I was carrying that around for so long, and then I got to the point where I was running out of inventory space, so I put it in my little storage box and forgot about it for the rest of the game.
Well, there's like one that you can find, and it works like that. It sort of takes the place of your rod, like your normal rod.
Mhm.
Once you actually specialize in Knight Enchanter, you can make one, and it just takes up an ability slot. Slot.
Splot. Ability splot.
But it doesn't have a cooldown time, so you can just like spam it the same way you would spam your fireball or whatever.
And is that a
that's
mage
cool.
character that can do that, or is that like
Yes.
a knight character?
It's a mage character.
So Vivienne can be a knight, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
What do you think of Vivienne, Matt? She seems like your kind of lady.
I mean, I'm regretting my decision to make Bronnie homosexual, because I'm into this.
I felt the same way about Cassandra a little bit, too. She's awfully mean to you at the beginning.
I don't like Cassandra, though. Like, she's too much of like a brown shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust that lady.
She has the French accent, yeah.
Yeah, well, and she also kind of seems like a fascist. I have a feeling that she's going to go along with me as I try to take over all of Thetis.
Is she in your party?
She was, but once I got Iron Bull, I got rid of her.
Got it.
I don't want any of these starters. I still have Solus, and I really want to get rid of him.
Oh, yeah. He's boring.
He knows a lot of facts and information.
Pretty boring still.
Yeah.
Up next is Iron Bull.
Everybody's favorite.
He's pretty great.
So
You gotta go to the Storm Coast for this one.
Yeah, we're back at Haven, and we're approached by a mercenary named Krem, who's like, "Hey, I'm with the Chargers. We're led by Iron Bull. We totally want to work for you, but you gotta come to the Storm Coast to meet us. Okay, bye." So we head on up there, and we see them fighting with some ne'er-do-wells. We can help them out, and then we get to meet Iron Bull. Jim, please describe Iron Bull in detail.
He's a... what's the name of his race?
Kunari.
Kunari.
He's a Kunari, and he's like a Kunari spy, but he's also the leader of this mercenary group.
Hey, what are they? The
And
Black
he's
Bulls?
like-
Is that it?
The Chargers.
The Chargers.
The Chargers. He's like, I've heard about the Inquisition. Sounds like you could use my help. We'll totally help you, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. And then if you say, okay, then he joins your party as a big two-handed warrior guy.
He up front tells you that he is also a spy for the Kunari. He's like, I'm spying for them. I'll share the information that they give to me, but I'm going to share information about you to them.
What's that called? Like, he's a Vosh Hashar. I don't remember the name of the term. Kunari spy people.
Ben Hashish or something like that. Remember in Dragon Age 2 when Matt kept wanting a Kunari companion the whole time? And I promised that there was one in a DLC, and there was, but it was Felicia Day because Kunari's also religion.
He's a Ben Hasrath.
Yeah.
Ben Hasrath.
He's got eye patch.
He does, and he is a real beefy boy, you know, like John is definitely going to romance Iron Bull, right?
I'm not sure if he will this time. I know that when
he is.
he's a dwarf, he likes to because he's very interested in the dynamics of the size differences.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what his real life is like.
It's true.
So Iron Bull joins us. He's great. I immediately put him in my party, and I love him. He's my favorite character in the game.
He likes
He's
to
the
have a
best.
good time. He likes to kill dragons. He likes to smash things. He's just out for fun.
That's right. There's a great spot on the Storm Coast when you're wandering around where you can see a dragon and like a giant fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stay back, they'll just kind of fight each other indefinitely. But if you get close, the dragon will defeat the giant. And then you can go loot the giant, and he's got some good stuff on him.
Nice.
You guys tried to fight any of those giants yet? They
I
are
did.
tough customers.
I did try to fight one in Haven, not Haven, in the Hinterlands, and it did instantly fucking fry my whole party.
Tough customers.
They are. They are. We have one more new friend to meet before we head on to our next story mission, and that is Blackwall. All of the wardens have disappeared. Everyone's kind of been talking about how they're gone somewhere. Nobody knows where. But we hear about one who's hanging out in the hinterlands by a lake. So we head to Lake Lutheus to meet him, and we find him there training basically like a few farmers, I guess. And he's teaching them to be soldiers.
Yeah, these are people who, like, they were raided or something.
Yes.
And he's teaching them to defend themselves.
And then the bandits show up right as we do, and we help wipe them out, and he just kind of goes like, all right, well, y'all can leave. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, now you're killers. You can defend your families. See you later.
Now you're blooded.
I guess
you know
they
what
can,
to do.
maybe.
Yeah.
He taught him a sword move.
Yeah.
What's with Blackwall? Like, what do y'all think of Blackwall? I haven't really used him.
He's boring.
I'm not really
Just an
into his
old,
beard.
boring guy.
He loves talking about treaties.
He loves treaties. He loves being a Grey Warden. He's like, Grey
He
Wardens
loves
are the
hanging
best.
out in the horse stables.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he chills.
Yeah, and then he's like, hey, let's talk about how great the Grey Wardens are. Pretty cool, huh? You know how Grey Wardens are the only ones who can stop a blight? Pretty rad, huh? You into it?
Whoa.
He's like a talent scout for the wardens, too. He's not like a warden who's hanging out with a bunch of other wardens. He's like on the road finding other wardens.
So the wardens were a big part of Dragon Age 1, right? Like, that one was about a blight.
Yes. Our character was a warden, as was Alistair.
Yeah, remember we had to go through that like warden test?
We had
thing?
to drink the blood of a darkspawn.
Drink the blood of the darkspawn.
And then Dragon Age 2 was about Hawk. And, like, what was the gist of that plot?
That's an interesting question.
The Kunari were invading what's the name of
Kirkwall.
the city? Kirkwall. That happened. There were some demons. Your mom turned into a Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
That happened.
That's not... You're not really answering
Then
my question.
Your friend Anders, it was, I mean, I guess the overarching plot was about the tension between the mages and the Templars in Kirkwall. And then eventually Anders blew up the Chantry and started the Mage Rebellion.
Oh, yeah. It's weird that the first game was about... They've got this, like, preset thing of the Blight that seems like... You know, like, Skyrim is always about the gates opening, right? Not
No.
Skyrim. Elder Scrolls.
Oblivion was about the Oblivion Gates.
Yeah, Skyrim was about a dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems weird that they have this, like, pre-baked in thing of the Blights that, like, everybody knows about, and it's, like, a big world-ending event... And then they used it the first time, and then the second game they were like, all right, well, let's just have like a little personal conflict and like a little city conflict for our second game. And then the third one is, I don't know, religion, the game.
Well, the Blights only happen every like 200 years or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Why do these games have to be set all within a 20-year period or whatever?
Because it's a continuing story and we get to see our old friends.
Lame.
It's not as fun as you make it sound, Vanessa.
It's so fun.
I don't like seeing my friends. Is my girlfriend from the first one in this? What was her name? Morgana?
Maybe. That's a spoiler.
This game should have done what Chrono Cross did with Chrono Trigger and just kill all of the characters from the first one. make them ghosts.
They all died in an orphanage.
Remember, I was thinking about this the other day because I've been replaying Chrono Trigger, but remember in Chrono Cross when remember Johnny from Chrono Trigger, the like bike hybrid man from the future? Remember when you find his dead body on the side of the road in Chrono Cross?
Man, remember how good Chrono Cross was? I mean, that might be the best game we've ever played on this show.
That game rocks, yeah. It's a good one.
So
I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say Jim didn't even finish it.
Yeah, you
That's
didn't
what
even
you
fucking
always
finish
say
it.
when we bring up Chrono Cross.
You didn't finish
I played it all the way to the end.
Before we played it on the show, you hated it. Like, you were adamant that it was the worst game you'd ever played. It was a piece of shit. And then we played it and we loved it, but then you didn't finish it.
Well, sometimes life happens, Matt.
Yeah, that's
life
true.
comes at you fast.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we finally head to Redcliffe Village to meet Grand Enchanter Fiona. We show up there and we're like, we're here at your invitation. She's like, I didn't invite you here.
Hang on. Who's we? Raise your hand if you did the mage quest.
I thought you did Redcliffe Village whether you did this or not.
You definitely
I have not been to Redcliffe Village.
I have, because you can't go there at first. If you try to go to Redcliffe in the hinterlands at the beginning, they'll be like, oh, nope, sorry, too much bad stuff going on, too many bandits, can't go. And then the gates open when you get this invitation, and you can go there, and there's little quests. There's a fun quest in Redcliffe where a guy loses his family's lucky ram, so you have to go search for his family's lucky ram.
Yeah.
That's a good one. There's also a house you can go into near the docks, and I think this is more of an Easter egg than anything, but it's stocked full of skulls and posts that make up the ocularums that you find on all the maps. This is like where they're made, I guess. It's like a house full of that stuff.
Weird.
And you learn that the ocularums are the skulls of tranquil people.
Oh, yikes.
Oh.
Yeah. Tranquil are those sort of
Yeah.
mages that have been cut off from the
Like
Fade.
lobotomized.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
lobotomized, aren't they?
Yeah. So you can do Redcliffe Village before getting locked into mages or Templars. So I went there, met Fiona, and she's like, I didn't invite you here. But she says we've aligned ourselves with a Tevinter magister named Alexius. Tevinter is the empire where mages rule.
Oh. Have we ever seen that in the game?
We've never been to Tevinter. That was where that cartoon was set, though. I think you watched that.
I did, but I didn't like it very much, so I don't remember much about it. I thought it was real cheesy.
So she's like, no, we're allied with this guy. And then he introduces himself. He goes to introduce his son, Felix. And Felix kind of stumbles into
cat?
you. Felix the cat, yep, with his bag of tricks.
He's got his bag of tricks.
The trick he pulls is he stumbles into you and then kind of slips you a note. And his father ushers him off. He's like, oh, no, Felix, you're not well. And the note says, come to the chantry. So we head over there, and then we see a guy named Dorian fighting some demons. Dorian Gay. Dorian Gay has a mustache. He has one exposed arm. He's very dapper. He fights the demons, and then Felix shows up, and he's like, hey, my dad, Alexius, used time magic to, arrive here before Fiona had reached out to you. So that never happened now in this little bubble of Redcliffe Village.
Oh,
and
I see.
Dorian used to be my father's apprentice. We both think he sucks and want to stop him. Please help us free the mages. And then you can go back to Haven and think about whether or not that's what you want to do.
Okay, so that is not the mage quest then. That is the
No, it's sort of like an introduction to the idea of the mage quest.
Interesting. So, do you have to go to Redcliffe first to be able to do this?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so that's why it was never.
Yeah,
on my,
that's why you
map.
thought that there was only one option for you.
Yeah. It's kind of lame because I wanted to do the mages, but I did the Templars.
I think Johnny did the mages, so we at least have a balance in our playthrough. So, will you please tell me about the Templars?
Okay, I don't know that I remember all of the details super well, but we go to Theronfall Redoubt, to try and persuade the Lord Seeker Lucius to join us. And that's the guy from Val Royeaux that he didn't punch the old lady, but one of his dudes punched the old lady.
Yeah, and then he was like, you suck.
So we get to Theronfall Redoubt, and there is I don't know, what do they call it? A Templar out front named Lord, is this right? Lord Abernash? Or is it Knight Templar Barris?
Yeah, Lord Abernash.
Oh, yeah. So what we've done is, excuse me. Got them water burps. We meet Lord Abernash, and I guess that the Inquisition has gotten a bunch of Orlesian nobles to show up here to like convince the Templars to, I don't know, rejoin the Chantry or help out the Inquisition or just generally stop being shitbags. This Lord Abernash guy sucks, you know? But we head with Lord Abernash across a bridge into the redoubt, and we talk to Knight Templar Barris. And before he'll let us meet the Lord Seeker, we have to do this ritual where we raise 3 flags. This is stupid as shit.
This is real dumb. And like the height at like one stands for, I don't remember what they stand for. Each one represents
one is the people,
something.
One is the Chantry, and one is the people, one is Andraste, and one is the Templars.
That's right.
I raised
what
the
order
people,
did you put your flags in?
I raised the people highest, and then Andraste second, and the Templars at the bottom, because I wanted the Templars to know that I think that they're shit to be scraped off my boots.
That's what I did too.
Wow. Did they like it?
No, they did not.
They accepted it.
I mean, they say that they're going to accept it no matter what you do, so it's kind of a pointless exercise. Then we head inside, and we meet Knight Captain Denham, and he turns on us basically immediately, and they do shoot Lord Abernash in the brain, which is pretty great. At least they did on mine. Did they die? Did he die on yours, Jim?
Yes.
I don't know if there's a way to save him or what the deal is, but he definitely dies.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of realize that something's up. And I guess the gist of it is that the leaders of the Templars the Lord Seeker has been possessed by a demon, an envy demon, and has been feeding the leaders of the Templars red lyrium, which is like poisoning their minds.
Wow.
And so we kind of have to go and kill our way. They launch an attack against themselves, basically. It's like a Templar civil war. And we have to, first we have to fight off the evil Templar attack. And then we make our way to like a hall. And at the hall, we rally the good Templars that are left. And then they like hold the hall while we go and find some like regular lyrium as
Templar
well as
veterans.
Yeah, well, you find some non-red lyrium, and you find some Templar lieutenants to help rally the troops and like hold the line. And
yeah, and you have to the longer like this great hall has a gauge. Yeah, the longer you're away from the main hall, the gauge empties, and if the gauge completely empties, then you fail the mission. So you have to quickly go to like area to area, find the lyrium and the veterans, and then go back.
Yeah, you kind of have to like do one thing and then go back and fight some monsters. And if you stay in the Great Hall, the gauge will slowly refill. So once it's filled back up, you can head back out and do the next bit of your mission. And it's busy work. It's not hard. It's not particularly interesting. Eventually, we make our way, we get everybody together, and we make our way to the Lord Captain or Head Seeker, whatever his fucking name is. And that's when things get really fucking weird.
Oh.
Turns out this guy is not this guy. He's an envy demon.
So he's like not him at all?
No. Then now this envy demon is like, I don't want to be this Templar leader anymore. I want to be the Inquisitor.
And that's when he invades your mind.
Whoa.
Yeah, it gets all up in your mind. Then you get a brain level.
Yeah, there's this cool thing where like the Lord Templar is like stabbing you, and as the dagger comes down, you enter this brain level. And so you're like about to die, and the envy demon is in your head, and it wants to know everything about you, and it's trying to force you to divulge more information. And that's when Cole shows up, a rogue that also is in your brain, and he kind of helps you defeat the envy demon by the Envy Demon keeps showing you like different scenarios of you like becoming evil and killing your friends and trying to take over the world. And obviously I was like, yes.
Oh, that's just what happened to Tony Stark in Age of Ultron, the worst Avengers movie.
Yeah. So we fight our way through this kind of Mind Palace area with Cole giving us hints and helping us out. And eventually we come to the end, or as I believe it's phrased, we get to the top in this, which I guess is us being as close to like the real world as possible. And as we get closer to the top, the Envy Demon has to expand this kind of Mind Palace, and it grows weaker and weaker, and that allows us to, I don't know, what does it do, Jim? We don't kill it here, we kill it out in the real world. So how do we get out here?
Well, Cole shows up and he's like, "Hey, my name's Cole. I'm a little magic guy, and I'm inside your head along with you." And he's like, "You need to not do what this Envy Demon says, but I think that if we continue exploring your mind, we will like stress out the connection the Envy Demon has with your memories, and then it will allow you to break free." Yeah. So you have to go like further into your Mind Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please describe Cole?
Cole is like a pale, scrawny white guy with like blonde hair and like a really big hat, like such a big hat.
He's like a suburban emo kid from like 2006.
He is a dual-wielding rogue, which is weird because once he showed up in my brain, I was like, oh, cool, another wizard character. Nope.
I thought that he was going to be a mage too, but nope, he's just a rogue.
He also implies, I think, that maybe he is a demon or something.
He doesn't know. At this point, he doesn't know if he's a demon or a spirit or what.
Well, he says that he used to be like the Envy Demon.
Yeah, he has a whole thing.
Yeah, I guess we'll get more into that deeper in the game. But anyway, we break free of the Envy Demon's control, and it gets all pissed off and and attacks us physically, and we murder it. It's not a hard fight, you know?
I thought the Envy Demon was hard as fuck.
Whoa.
That's because I died a couple times.
That's because you're not a cool rogue who turns invisible and then walks up behind it and stabs it.
It's true. One of the attacks that I like to do, which is like, I think it's called Earth Shattering Strike that my warrior can do. Essentially like slam my weapon down on the ground and it causes like a fire AoE, like it extends like a fire spell out in front of me, and everyone caught in it gets inflicted with burning and is also taunted. And I think that's why it kept targeting me, because the game Cole shows up as like an uncontrollable party member who's invincible. Like he's got plot armor, so he can't die. So you want to let like Cole aggro the Envy Demon and then attack it, but I kept aggroing it. It kept hurting me.
I had Iron Bull and Sera and Solus. So Iron Bull took a lot of the aggro, and I just kept going invisible and hitting it from behind, which was fun.
I will say I like the design of the Envy Demon. It's like it's kind of like a Slender Man.
Yeah,
like a naked Slender Man.
Like a naked pink Slender Man.
It's a big pink naked Slender Man. It has no face and it has 4 arms.
And it's
got
like
two really
down,
long
right?
arms and 2 little stubby arms, like coming out of its armpits.
Little T-Rex arms.
Yeah. It's a cool looking thing. Thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, it has like it does the thing where like it walks on its hands and its legs are like, it's like a contortionist where the legs are like over it and the back is bent.
Yeah, it's like, its head is like upside down. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And that's it. You kill the Envy Demon and you get the option here basically to tell the Templars what to do. You can tell them to like... What are your options, Jim? I know what I chose, but I don't remember the rest.
You can tell them to disband. You can tell them you're soldiers of the Inquisition now, or you can tell them you need to start over and become a totally new Templar organization.
What did you tell them to do?
I told them that they were now soldiers of the Inquisition.
Yeah, me too. It's like, you're mine, punks.
That actually works out pretty favorably at the end. I hope you get that part of the ending.
I guess we'll see. A lot of my party members did not like it.
Yeah. This was one decision that like everybody hated, seemingly. Nobody liked that.
Yeah, well, fuck them. Like, the Templars suck, and like your paramilitary church organization should not exist. How's that sound? Game?
Yeah.
But the Inquisition is a paramilitary church organization.
Okay, but we're focused on shutting down a giant crazy hole in the sky, not like keeping our boots on the necks of the people.
For now.
Once we shut that hole down, I will be the king of the Chantry. Bronnie Jandon.
I am Andraste's chosen.
Fuck yeah. I love telling people that. When I played this game in my first run through as a mage, I was like playing it like, I guess like Vanessa, where I was like, no. Like I was playing it like I play these games where it's kind of like how I would do it, right? Where I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm not chosen. Don't be absurd. And now that I've switched to evil Bronnie Jandon, I'm like, yes, I am your god. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, well, that's what happens with the Templars. Vanessa, will you please tell us what happens if you go the mage route?
No, I have a radical suggestion.
What?
Whoa!
Since we know that Johnny also did this quest, and this is our last quest of the Chunker, what if we just put it off for next week when Johnny can be here and help me tell this tale?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'm down for that.
But I do want to know, Matt, if you have had any other encounters in the game up until this point that you want to talk about. Side quests, people you met, cool things you saw, you saved that ram.
Ahead of time.
I'm sorry. I like putting you on the spot. I want to know what your heart says.
My heart says that this game is pretty boring.
Wow.
It is fun to play, but like I just don't give a shit about this like world and these fucking this politics stuff. Like, I don't know. It's not really the plot in this game has not hooked me. But anyway, as to answer your question, not really. I can't think of anything. I went to the Storm Coast. I said I saw that cool dragon and giant fight.
True.
That was fun.
You guys killed any dragons yet?
You already asked us that.
Yeah, but not at this point
yeah.
in the game, so I can't really say that I have. You know what I mean?
You did. We already talked about whether or not we fought any dragons.
I had killed a dragon by this point in the game.
Had you?
Just gonna throw that out there.
Wow.
Yeah, before I continued on with the main quest, I decided, like, I had a bunch of power from being in the hinterlands for so long and doing as many quests as I could. So I was like, I'm gonna unlock some of these other areas. So I went ahead and did some of the Fallowmire, and then I went to the western approach, which is like on the far left-hand side of the map. And there's a whole like little quest line where you have to try to like lure a dragon. You have to find the right dragon lure. You have to find like this old Tevinter book that details how to lure a dragon, and then you have to create a dragon lure, and you have to find the bait, kill some animals, and then you have to bait a dragon out. And then I totally killed that dragon.
Wow.
It took me a lot. The only reason I was able to do it was because I found this item called Kitty's Collar in an old fort in the western approach.
Oh no, you mentioned that.
Oh yeah, and this Kitty's Collar, when you're KO'd, gives you a 75% chance to get rezzed with half your health. And so no matter how many times I died, I kept getting resurrected. And if I didn't get resurrected, I would just switch to another character and then res myself. So after it took me like 40 minutes to finally kill this dragon.
Wow.
Very worth it. Got some good items from these. You get some good stuff from these dragons.
You also get dragon scales that you can use to make armor and things.
Ooh.
Yeah, you get bones and scales and maybe a tooth or something. I don't remember, but there's some good stuff.
What about you, Vanessa? Do you have any quest lines, side quests that you want to talk about?
I guess just finding that ram was pretty great. Excuse me. What's good about it is this guy says, "Oh, my special ram is gone, but if you find him and tell him that Jimmy misses him, I'm sure he'd come right home." And that's all you have to do. It's not an escort quest. You just have to go find that ram. And
the animal escort quests in this game are garbage.
they're terrible. Yeah, there's one where the Druffalo roam, which we talked about last time.
Yeah, I have not done that one, and I will not do it. There's one in, I think it's like the Emerald Greaves or the Exalted Plains, where you have to escort a Hala back to a Dalish camp, and it is the worst.
Yeah, I did that one. I had a pretty easy time. I actually used my horse, which I think is the trick for that one.
I just totally stopped using the mounts after the beginning of the game when I saw how slowly they move.
Yeah.
We have a fun email about that to read this week too.
All right, where are we playing to next time, Vanessa?
Next time we will play through the end of what's it called? Scroll down through the notes.
Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts.
Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts, which is the big party scene, and we're going to save continuing with the wardens for a different chunker.
Vanessa, I saw on the Xbox app the trophy you got from that mission for getting all of the court favor. Like, what a brown noser. We're going to have to talk about that next
loves me.
What are you guys squarely against for this chunker? Matt, what are you squarely against, bro?
Well, I'm roundly for that envy demon stuff and like going into your character's brain. That was pretty interesting. That was like a fun set piece.
Yeah.
That's it. What about you, Jim?
I'm roundly for the combat. I can't tell you how gratifying it is to use one of my warrior abilities and the damage counter thing to come up and say that I did like 4,000 damage to an enemy. It's so gratifying. I love it. Vanessa, what about you? What are you squarely against?
I hate to say it, but I'm squarely against Sera. I just don't like her.
You don't like little stinkers?
I don't like little stinkers, and she's the littlest stinker of all, and it's just like her whole character, and she's so out there, and her haircuts is terrible. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll come to like her more than I have in past playthroughs if I caught into her party dialogue or something. I like what she's doing. I like her, looking out for the little guy kind of thing. But does she have to be such a little stinker about it?
I know, she's so stinky. Oh, can I add to mine? I really like the way the armor sets look on the characters. You could tell they put a lot of love into crafting the way these weapons and armor pieces look, and they look super good. Especially the mage ones. There's some ones you can get for Vivienne. Like, the look of the armor changes depending on which character you give it to, if they're classed to use it. And man, they just make these look so good. Vivienne's look like super high-end and fancy and regal, and you give the same armor to Sera, and it looks like kind of gross and like kind of street urchin-y. It's really cool. I like it.
All right. Well, we do have an email to read, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna try to read this email. It's called Inquisition Horses. And it's from Evan. Evan started out by sending us lots of compliments, which I'm not going to read because they'll make me blush, but we do appreciate it very, very much. And thank you for being a listener. And then he writes, I heard you guys talk about how janky / lackluster the horses are in Inquisition, and it reminded me of an anecdote I saw from one of the former devs on Twitter, and I want to share. Basically, he was saying that they couldn't actually get the sprinting on the horse to function properly, so instead what they did was up the motion blur after you hit the sprint button to make it look like you're going faster, when in actuality you're moving at the same speed. Thought y'all might get a kick out of that. That is hilarious, and it also explains why I always finish the horse races with so much time to spare. It's like obviously they wanted the horses to go faster and had kind of tried to time it for that, but instead you just like saunter along the whole time.
Yeah, I timed it out. I did. I found a flat piece of ground and two things and timed it. I just counted it, so it wasn't perfect, but it was the same. It does not change your speed. It's stupid.
That's hilarious.
It is stupid.
I mean, I do think a horse is slightly faster than your just walking animation speed.
Yeah, but you gotta like call that thing out all the time, so it becomes fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's no like terrain benefit. Like it's not like you can go up hillsides easier.
Right.
It gets stuck on the same stuff you do, so there's no like climbing benefit to being on the horse.
No. And it doesn't look as good as walking to me somehow. And you can't use your little ping thing to find lots of stuff.
Oh yeah, and you can't like grab like herbs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get off the horse to do that, which is also dumb.
All right, I guess we're all
thanks for the email, Evan.
Yeah, thank you. It was very sweet, and I apologize for not reading all of it, but I didn't want to.
We got the gist of it.
Yeah. Hey Jim.
Yeah,
I've heard that we have a Patreon.
We do. Our Patreon is at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. We have much content on there. We do monthly bonuses. This month, I think there's going to be something Taskmaster related.
Yes, please. Mistaken. Oh, give it to me. Nom, 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 nom. It's so delicious.
January Taskmaster bonus. You can have access to all that sweet, sweet, sweet content at the $3 tier. At the $5 tier, you get all that great content, plus the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. Should have our first vote of the year up pretty shortly, I think. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, if you want to subscribe, you can do so at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. No matter what tier you subscribe to us at, we like to thank some of our patrons personally on the show. This week, I would like to thank Ryan Schmidt, T. Balders, I Hardly Noser, Bumpkins, Diamonds Are Dragon Poop, Hexagon, Isaac Wright, J-Bone, Aaron, I'd Rather Not Live My Life as Sheet Metal Little, Oh No, and Joshua Rose.
I'd like to thank... Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Sexy Pig Dancer.
Say it again.
Sexy Pig Dancer. Jerry Schreffler, Adam H., Knopford, Hey, It's Me, Imoween, Mike Marno, Samu Mitchell, Breegirth, David Shook, and William Westgard. We didn't update this. This is the same list from last week. No, this is the same
from last week. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to thank
listeners.
All Things Begin With New and End With New, Ed Rule, Joshua W. Broxson, Dr. Fine Say Everyone's Name, Omen Ran, Eric Pidkameni, Andy Smith, and Rubber Bear.
Rubber Bear.
All right. That's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Come visit us on the web on your browser at squarerootspod.com or find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes. All right, friends. For Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
And I'm Vanessa. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.